high school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, we could do a little football today now, huh? I mean, we'll get into the basketball, but man, all that stuff that's been happening, your NFL stuff, your Deshaun Watson, your Matt Ryan. I know your household got a little Matt Ryan jolt. Matt Ryan's the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. That means Baker's like on the wheel spinning, and Seattle's going, I don't know that I really want that. Carolina's like, well, I'm not sure I do either. Remember last year, Sam Darnold was the guy. He was going to be the next.
He was never the guy.
He was kind of the next rejuvenation project. Well, where's Baker going to land? What's up to you, Mary?
Homeboy saw ghosts.
He kind of did.
They never went away.
Yeah, he still sees ghosts. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living on this Tuesday snow morning?
Living sleety.
How about that? Right? Where'd that come from? It was like 70.
That is, like, when is your spring going to get here?
You know how this works.
I get it.
You know how
it's Albuquerque, it's windy. Lived here for a long time. Sometimes you're just like, can I just get 75 today, please?
We're going to get it this weekend, and we'll still get another snow. Like, I mean, typically we were getting one in April. It's almost April. We've gotten them on May 1st, May 3rd before. I mean, like deal with it. It's not that bad, actually, out there. It's a wet snow. Be careful out there. But you're going to wake up to a little bit of snow. A-Marie is back from her absence. How's that?
That's a good one.
Is that? I mean,
I
need a word. She's performing, by the way, on Wednesday. That'll be tomorrow over at Revel.
Her basketball journey.
I wish.
You saw a lot of hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You saw a lot of stuff.
Brand new Hoosiers fan in time for them to get blown out by St. Mary's.
I got attached them while I was there.
Yeah, after they're winning Dayton in the first four over Wyoming. If you're all like, I'm all about it. I love the striped pants. Mike Woodson's a magician. All that stuff. Then they went and got run out the built by St. Mary's. I mean, the worst blowout of the whole tournament. Yeah. How you feel about that?
It was tough.
All right. Are you performing tomorrow?
At Revel.
Yeah, 7:30?
I'm opening for a comedian named Rena Calm.
Yeah? Rena Calm. All right. Enjoy that. Make your plans to be out there. We got a lot to do today. 505-246-0610. It feels like we got a lot to do every day. I feel every day we come in here. It seems to me, and we'll open it up to you. So if you want to get in on the New Mexico State stuff, it's still there for you. You're welcome to, whether it's their run through into the second round of the NCAA tournament, whether it is whatever it is you want to do. I guess I would ask this question: what is it you enjoyed about it as an Aggie fan? You know, as you sit back now, and I understand that Chris Jans is gone, and you're moving on to the next, whatever it's going to be, whether it's your assistant coach, whether it's the guy from the hot name out of Jan's old assistant from North Florida. There's a bunch of hot names, but wherever you go, what did you enjoy about this run? Did you enjoy the ups and downs? Did you enjoy this group? Did you enjoy Teddy? Was it this year different than any other year? And I think it was, because you won a game of the tournament. But as you look back on it, you know, what did you enjoy about it? We can get into that. Jay, I walked out of here and I felt like a little bit like we neglected the NFL yesterday because there was so much Aggie stuff and so much basketball stuff. And I look back at what happened over the last bunch of days in the National Football League, and I'm like, holy smokes. We're 2 weeks away from the Masters. We got big Masters news to get into today. But we haven't really got into all this big, and it's really quarterback shuffling that's leading the way, as it always is in that league, with now Matt Ryan going to Indianapolis, the Deshaun Watson signing by the Browns with the guaranteed money, Baker's still on their books. They can't just release him. What are they going to do with Baker? And just really the reshuffling, the restructuring. I want to say the AFC. You say the NFL, but really the AFC, right? You've got a conference now with Josh Allen and young guys like Tua Tagovailoa and Mac Jones and Zach Wilson, and you've got Lamar and you've got Joe Burrow and now Deshaun, and you've got Matt Ryan's there now. Trevor Lawrence, let's see what he is now that he gets a coach in there. Ryan Tannehill is probably the worst quarterback in the AFC, and he's still pretty decent. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, all that just in the AFC. AFC is loaded with quarterbacks.
It is, and these teams are understanding that you're going to have to give up to get. And we've seen a lot of these teams. Last year was a great example, not just Sam Darnold, but a Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston, who they're running it back with in New Orleans now. Like you're like, all right, we're just going to try to get by, and it's not that easy. Like to have a good football team with an average quarterback and then win at a high level is really hard to do, because there is a group of teams right there in the middle that feel that all right, we just need competent quarterback. We just need a guy that can make an occasional play, and we've seen that gets you to a situation where you have to win a game or two at the end, and you don't. It's what cost Carson Wentz his job in Indianapolis, the fact that he could not beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're seeing these teams understand how tough it is right now, and instead of waiting, realizing these picks are a bunch of what-ifs. Mm-hmm. These picks are overvalued at times because it's like, well, if we don't have a first-round pick, how are we going to win? Well, if you don't have a quarterback that can compete with the top 10 to 12 guys in this league, it doesn't matter what picks you have in the future, and we're seeing that play out right now.
Yeah, I think all that's right. A quarterback is the most important piece in American sports, and maybe in sports around the world. I mean, give me an international sport. I know we always say in sports, period, and we focus globally when we just look continentally. Is there something that you can find? I mean, is it a bobsled driver that's more important? I don't know. I mean, is there somebody on an international soccer pitch that's more important than a quarterback on an NFL football team?
No.
Right? I mean, it's the most important position in sports, period, isn't it? Around the world. Find me something better in team sports. And it's hard to find. And Atlanta just traded one that was an MVP that took him to the Super Bowl, granted on the back end of his contract. And look, for Indianapolis, what did they give up, a third-round pick? Is that what they had?
Yep.
I mean, it feels to me like a steal. If they get 2
to
years out of it.
The Commanders sent, which was 2 seconds for Carson Wentz?
Right. If they get 2 years out of Matt Ryan, and I think Matt Ryan's got 2 years left. I listened to a lot of talking heads yesterday tell me he's done. He's done. Kind of looked a little done at times in Atlanta, where they turned Cordero Patterson into a stud, right? I mean, what did they have in Atlanta? What was left? And Calvin Ridley.
That's tough because he's not necessarily the dude that's going to take just those guys and make them good. But you go to Indianapolis, it's where what we were trying to do with Carson Wentz, we think you can do it because you are still better at this point in time than Wentz in the moment.
Well, he's always made better decisions. Look, every guy's thrown a interception in a bad situation. Even Tom Brady has. Did you yes. Even Tom Brady's thrown an interception in a bad situation. Even Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, who got $230 million guaranteed. So Matt Ryan, over his career, has habitually made the right decisions and made good plays. What is he, 36-ish, right? He's got a couple years left. And today's quarterback plays till he's, 47? I mean, Aaron Rodgers just signed a deal that's going to take him into his 40s. Not all these guys can. You saw Phillip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger kind of wind this thing down in their late 30s, and maybe Matt Ryan's on that path. But I looked at Matt Ryan last year, and there were times where I said, wow, okay, there's something still there. Now I'm going to put him with a running game with a guy who might be today's best running back in the game, and Jonathan Taylor. Is it him and Derrick Henry? Do we have another guy that you're telling me is the best running back in the game? Is it those two?
Dalvin Cook?
Okay, maybe, if he can stay healthy. But, yeah, Jonathan Taylor was one of the top 3 running backs.
We're talking about him as an MVP.
Yeah, weren't we? Yes. I mean, we're talking about a guy who last year I think was the best running back in the game. Michael Pittman's a good receiver. Frank Reich's a hell of a coach. They got a defense over there. This is a team that last year everybody was telling me was a playoff team. Oh, and they were until they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the final game of the season.
Hey,
What?
Matt Ryan is 4-0 against the Jaguars.
See? I think that's the issue. And they play them twice. They're in that division. But all of a sudden, you put them in that division now, right? Houston's bad. Jacksonville, I think, is still bad. Tennessee's good. And even though Tennessee was the 1 seed, nobody looks at them. Like this is the crazy part of this whole thing. This is what's so nuts to me about the AFC. You will talk to me about 10 teams before you talk to me about the Tennessee Titans, won't you?
Absolutely.
When people tell me, if you ask anybody out there, who do you like out of the AFC this year? And they'll give you 10 teams before they give you the team that was the 1 seed last year. Now, I know the 1 seed lost their first playoff game. I'm aware of that. And I know who their quarterback is, and I don't think their quarterback is horrible. I think their quarterback had a bad game in the playoffs. Okay. I'm not telling you I would take Ryan Tannehill over
The Tennessee Titans are the Mountain West, Jeff. That's what happens.
Ooh.
No one cares what you did in the regular season.
That's good. See? That's good.
Talk about the postseason.
They've been to a lot. They've been to 2 AFC championship games as relatively currently constructed, right? But that's theirs. So is Indianapolis better than Tennessee now? Who's your favorite to win that division?
Indianapolis.
See, I go the other way. Why? Just because they changed quarterbacks?
Well, I think these teams are a coin flip. I really do. And the competent play that you're going to get from Matt Ryan, they're going to address wide receiver 2. You have Michael Pittman, which is a solid 1.
And then?
Okay. And then what?
Yeah.
You have Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. And then what?
And A.J. Brown. Yeah, they tried Julio Jones. But,
they're the same team.
But Tennessee made the playoffs as the 1 seed, and Indianapolis did not make the playoffs, so they're not the same team to me. Tennessee makes more plays. Ryan Tannehill makes less mistakes in the regular season than that quarterback did, right? And
Colts had a better point differential last year.
Colts didn't make the playoffs. I mean, okay, it's really all that matters.
They're not the same. They're not the same team with Carson Wentz. Now with Matt Ryan, that puts them right there with Ryan Tannehill.
Okay, all right. Carson Wentz had some big games during the season. He had some bad games during the season. It really came down to the last one. I want to get into the Deshaun stuff, what happens with Baker Mayfield. Leonard Fournette just signed a deal. There's new disaster stories about how bad it was with Urban Meyer. I mean, you called that the day it happened, didn't you? You called it the day. You were 100% right. The day it happened.
Every once in a while, there's things that you just know it ain't going to work.
Well, and that was when you were on. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 505-246-0610. Emails will come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. You don't have one of those yet, right? You got to call A-Marie at 505-246-0610.
Follow me at Part-Time Bro.
All right, there you go.
Everywhere.
At Part-Time Bro everywhere. Text line's open. It's 505-246-0610. You can watch the program. We're on Comcast Channel 26 statewide. We are, I believe, statewide, at least in the metro. We are on Facebook, the OD in the AM. Adrian, I think is Adrian. I can't see. How come I don't see Adrian anymore? I don't see who's producing anymore.
It is Adrian. I just don't know where he is.
All right, producing on the program.
He's hiding.
Come on back. We'll get into. I want to get into the Deshaun stuff and the guaranteed money. What happens with Baker, and there's going to be a big lefty missing at the Masters this year. And I don't know how many of you are upset about it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Biggest move in the offseason. What is the most impactful NFL move? Is it Russell Wilson? Is it Aaron Rodgers signing and staying? Is it Deshaun Watson going to the Browns? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. As things continue just to move, is it Devontae Adams going to the Raiders? Well, Jeff, it can't be. You just told me quarterback's the most important position. No, you're probably right. What's the most impactful one that's happened so far?
To me, it's Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
These are the biggest moves. There's other moves that are going to help.
They're big-name quarterbacks that have changed teams.
When you look at even Devontae Adams, he's only as good as Derek Carr is going to be.
Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you, I think the biggest move is Aaron Rodgers staying put, because I think that's what set everything off, right? That's what set everything off.
Totally.
That was the first.
The floodgates open.
Right. That was where everybody was waiting for that one. He got his $150 million for 3 years.
All that.
And then Russ got traded, what, 20 minutes later?
Yes.
Right? JJ was saying, gosh, there's, look at the AFC and then look at the NFC. Who are the quarterbacks? Well, I don't know. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are there. Dak Prescott, Matt Stafford are there. Kyler Murray's still there. I mean, you still got good quarterbacks. Where does Baker Mayfield land? New Orleans just committed
still
to
need
Jameis.
someone.
Well, it comes down to Seattle and Carolina, doesn't it? I mean, your team seems set with Kirk Cousins, although they dangle it for a while. Detroit has another year of Jared Goff, right? Because they're paying him. And I don't know that I think Baker Mayfield's any better than Jared Goff. So where is Baker Mayfield better than what they had? Washington decided to go, instead of go with Baker, they went with Carson Wentz. Philadelphia's going to stay with what they've got. Chicago's committed to what they've got. 49ers have 2. I mean, it really comes down to that, doesn't it? It's and did Atlanta committed to Marcus Mariota? Is that what?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
If they're looking at Arthur Smith and where it came from, people were pointing out it's very Ryan Tannehill-like. And they got the athletic guy, move him around in the offense. And Baker Mayfield's the odd man out. It's just bad timing for him right now. And he's a guy that teams are not sold on.
Look.
They're just going to wait it out until the very end because they can probably get him on the cheap. Cleveland's going to have to pick up some of that salary, which they can do, given the fact that they knew that Deshaun Watson could get in trouble, so they did not give him a base salary of more than $1 million this season.
Cleveland has got a base salary of $18 million on Baker. They'd signed Jacoby Brissett as the backup, right? And they've got to move him, and everybody knows you got to move him. So you can tell Cleveland, I'll tell you what, you give me him and a pick, and I'll give you something back. But we're talking about the number 1 overall pick, 4 years ago? Number 1 overall pick 4 years ago. 5 years, whatever it was. And now you're dying to dump him because you need the salary dump. And so if you're Carolina, even if you're Seattle, is it worth it just to steal him and say, you want to come in and see if it works here? What does Seattle have right now?
Drew Lock.
They have Drew Lock.
And tells you everything you need to know.
Well, you're asking the question, is Drew Lock better than Baker Mayfield right now?
The answer to that question is no.
I think that's right.
He's cheaper. And salary rise, and you already had a
salary
big deal.
He's still on his rookie deal, isn't he?
Yeah, but you had was a second-round quarterback as opposed to a first-round quarterback. And you just had him as a part of that deal.
Okay.
Are the Texans staying with Davis Mills?
There's another spot. Okay, the Texans. And
what about Jimmy G?
Well, I'm a little surprised, and I think this says something, that the Texans didn't, in this deal, say throw in Baker Mayfield. Right?
It doesn't surprise me because the problem with Baker Mayfield is just got 1 year left.
And nobody wants to deal with that 1 year and have to pay him after that.
And if he comes in, he's like, well, I want an extension, but we're not sold on you, right. And then you're going through that.
That's the timing on this. If he was good, and now he's got this whole...
He was good?
Yeah.
You'd be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. If he... No, if he was good, he wouldn't. If he was really good, he would be. If he was good, you still got Deshaun Watson, who most people would think was better. You know who's good is Matt Ryan. Right? You'd still take Deshaun Watson over him, right?
You would not make the move for Deshaun Watson even if Baker Mayfield was just a good quarterback.
Okay. What's the bigger deterrent?
Minnesota didn't trade for him.
Yeah.
Tennessee didn't trade for him.
All right, Minnesota's got good.
Yeah,
no,
he's good.
You're fair. So what's the bigger deterrent? His play, his contract status, where he's at the end of it, he's in the last year, so you're going to have to re-sign him, or this rap that he's got about being immature, a bad leader, how he wore out his welcome, the social media, all the off-field crap that goes with it, in parentheses, not a good teammate, end quote, but makes really good commercials.
They are good commercials.
They are good commercials. Well, I mean, what's the biggest issue, though? Is it the off-field stuff? The rap that he's getting? Because that's all everybody's talking about now.
The problem is, Baker Mayfield has an attitude of a really good quarterback, but he's just been average at times.
When you say attitude, what do you mean?
Like, Baker Mayfield he's not doing anything, like, terrible. He's confident. He's outspoken at times. But when we're talking about adults and needing an adult and you go and take Deshaun Watson, like kick all that stuff to the curb, light it on fire.
I can't be more with you on that. I 100%. I'm with you on that.
Like maybe there's kind of a Baker Mayfield still has that OU quarterback about him, and he's not making those plays, which maybe that's the rub to it. But in terms of the other stuff, they need an adult in the room and this and that. And no, you're going about talent. If you need an adult in the room, we cannot say that about Deshaun Watson right now.
But that's what they said. They needed an adult in the room.
Because they're justifying it.
No, but I get it. And what that does is put a stain on Baker. And I think when they said that, it made it tougher to trade him. I think it diluted his value. And I think it makes it tougher to move him because, you're telling me he's not mature. You're telling me he's not a leader. Why am I giving you anything for this guy?
Because now Baker Mayfield is just in that.
He's in the Johnny Manziel zone.
No, he's not. He is not that. No. If you think Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel.
No, I don't think. I think he's way better than Johnny
like
Manziel.
The narrative of it, then you're just buying into what
I've been listening to over the last 2 days is so analogous to what I heard with Johnny Manziel. Now, I don't think that. I think, he's twice the quarterback.
Johnny Manziel never showed up to this level in the NFL.
No, I think he's twice to 3 times the player that Johnny Manziel ever was. And I don't think he's nearly the cancer.
Is Baker Mayfield is kind of in that tumbler. It's all right, you got your Marcus Mariotas and your Mitch Trubisky's.
Who are considered to be good guys and leaders. And
just in there. And maybe there's, the way he carries himself, it's more of like, you can get away with this if you're Aaron Rodgers or that.
I thought Baker did everything right in that town. And I started listening to how he didn't and how he burned bridges. I watched a guy who went into Cleveland where nobody wanted to be and totally embrace that place and say, I want to be here, and embrace the blue-collar workman attitude of it. I thought he said and did everything right, except for he didn't win, right? The guy played hurt. I mean, he was beat to hell last year, right? And he played through it. Like, there's part of me that kind of likes him now. And I don't normally feel bad for guys like this. I don't even know what that means, guys like this. But I'm looking at him. I kind of feel he's getting a bum rap.
I'm with you on it. I think that, this is all stuff that comes out that maybe, Baker had some disagreements with some guys. Maybe people just didn't necessarily really like him. But I know outside of Odell Beckham, I think it came to the part of they just weren't winning at a high enough level, and so guys are not necessarily just going to straight defend you because it does still come to a business, and everyone understands that the play of that position means so much for their careers overall, which is why it's been more quiet than anything else, because everyone on that Browns roster saw where it was going in the offseason, and knowing that Deshaun Watson, they believe that they can win football, like they can be a Super Bowl team with Deshaun Watson, so they're not going to go out of the way to back Baker Mayfield.
No, it's on everybody else now. I mean, they better start making playoffs now. They better start making playoffs now. Well, but he only played 8. He missed 8 games this year. So I mean, he was suspended this year. So we'll see about next year. I don't know how many more next years you got in you. All right, here's what I'm going to ask going into break. Dan, you're a Seahawk fan. Would you want Baker Mayfield instead of what you got? Sean, I haven't heard from Sean since football season.
Yeah, I'm worried about him.
How would you feel about Baker Mayfield instead of Zach Wilson? Would that be an upgrade for you? Steeler fan, what do you got? You got Carson Wentz. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield? Some of you teams that are on this, well, I'm not
Mitch.
Sure. What's that?
Steelers have Mitch.
Oh, they have Mitch. What did I say? Carson Wentz. Yeah, Commanders fans. All right. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield than Mitch Trubisky, or Carson Wentz, or hell, I'll even ask you on Kirk Cousins? Some of you who are on that fringe, how would you feel? Would you want Baker Mayfield as your quarterback? It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610. Guys, you find yourself feeling a little sluggish? It's way too often. Just don't have the energy you used to. You don't feel this right all the time. Maybe you want to take care of some hair loss, or you're struggling with erectile dysfunction, or you need to lose some weight. Fellas, you don't have to struggle anymore. You can call Numel. You can feel like you again. reality is it's not going away by ignoring it. Certainly, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Low T, erectile dysfunction, lack of energy, they're all natural when men reach a certain age. You don't have to accept it. Call NuMale, 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, and you can feel better. Men everywhere have made the call, and they're enjoying the benefits of NuMale's cutting-edge programs. The latest treatments taking care of low T, lack of energy, depression. NuMale's going to help you feel like you again if you call them at 505-652-1688. They're right here in Albuquerque. NuMale boasts fantastic success rates. That means guys, maybe guys like you, are regaining their strength, their confidence. So if you suffer from ED, depression, or just flat out are tired of being tired, NuMale may be for you. Call and find out, 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and feel better.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
or surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign
Actually,
up
if you're
today.
one of those teams, Seattle, Atlanta now, although they kind of went with Marcus Mariota. Would you want Baker Mayfield? Put out the bat signal. Dan responded to it. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Good morning, everyone.
What's happening?
It's a nice rainy day today.
Yep, a little snowy.
Well, on your question today,
yep.
I guess we can lose with anybody, right? I mean, we can lose with anybody. So, but honestly, me personally, I like Baker Mayfield. I like the way he moves around in the backfield. Any quarterback should be happy to come and have Metcalf and Lockett as targets. I mean, in my eyes. So I like Baker Mayfield. I even like the commercials and the aura that he has around him, and he's just kind of nutty. And it's not all about. And look, I said the same thing when they got Russell Wilson and didn't know anything about him. I'm like, what the hell are these guys doing? This guy's 5'10". He's you know what I mean? What's he going to do? And then, look, he proved me wrong. So, yeah, I like Baker. I don't know much about the log. I don't know much about Baker because I don't really watch the Browns. But like I say, Jeff, we can lose with anybody. And I'd be, as a Seahawks fan, I'd be okay with it. Let's just get something going so that we can, hitch our wagon to it. Does that sound okay?
Totally. No, look, that makes a ton of sense, and it's interesting. All right, thanks, Dan. I appreciate you.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, give me that guy. I think would you rather Baker Mayfield or Drew Lock?
Baker Mayfield.
I think so too. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails will come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. All right, we never got really deep into the Deshaun Watson stuff over the weekend, and Cleveland gave up a lot. They got their quarterback. Are we convinced, and I know you are pretty much there, that he is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, top 4 quarterback in the NFL? Sat out a year. He's got all these allegations there. He's physically, he's terrific, right?
Talent-wise, yes.
All right, and that sustains, right? Okay. So is it worth $230 million guaranteed to a guy with 22 civil suits pending, which you can tell me you did all your due diligence you want? There's got to be some question to decision-making character, doesn't there?
Absolutely.
All right. And I know some of you are sitting there, well, Jeff, he's not been criminally charged with anything. You are 100% right. How many people they got 20-something different massage therapists? Just curious. Well, that's fine, Jeff. He's looking for the right one. Okay. And they all.
I do not mean to laugh at that.
No, I'm just trying to justify it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
look. I've tried a lot of times to walk my way through this.
The justification is they believe Deshaun Watson can win them football games in Sinton.
And that's really where it all goes to.
The problem is when you start layering it. Like, Deshaun's going to come in, and he's going to prove himself. And
he's the adult in the room.
Why does he have to prove himself? If you're bringing him in, and
giving him $230 million
you're guaranteeing him $230 million, why does he need to win back everyone?
Can he still get suspended?
Well, he will get suspended.
Okay, so then
he will. There's
Jacoby Brissett time.
So he will, and that's why, Amory, the Browns did him an insane. And basically, when the Browns did this, the Browns put their middle finger in the air to the NFL. The Browns, do you know what his year 1 salary? Because he's going to get suspended, whether it's 4, 6, or 8 games. His first year's salary, JJ, is like $1 million.
Yeah, so he can only get fined like $50,000.
So that's what his fine will be. And let's say he misses half of the season, he loses $500,000. What's $500,000? And it won't even be half the season because that would be what, 9 games, 8 and a half games. So he loses 8 games, he loses just under half. So let's say he loses $500,000. What's $500,000 to a guy who just has $230 million guaranteed? So it's not like they evenly spread his money out where he's making $48 million a year. No. The first year he's making $1 million on his salary. So when he gets fined or when he gets suspended, he only gives up $500,000. That's what the Browns did. That's the Browns putting their middle finger in the air to the NFL. Don't you think?
Of course it is. Like, and don't stop trying to spin it. We all see it.
I'm not trying to spin it.
I'm not you, but the Browns. And they like the owners released a statement. The GM, the head coach, like we believe in Deshaun Watson. We understand his character is going to come in and win people. You're in a business. You're in a win now business. You win. People don't care what you do. It's what we all do. We overlook everything. In moments, we like to say we care and hold people accountable. But once that dude is throwing 3 touchdowns a game, whether you're a Browns fan or he's on your fantasy football team, we don't care. So they're playing the PR game right now, trying to spin it like we believe Deshaun, we're on his side. He's going to be a good dude. Let's just stop. Deshaun Watson's a talented quarterback. That's why he's getting this opportunity. That's why we know in this world of athletics, second, third chances come along when you're really good. And I get that there's no criminal charges coming at this point in time. But this is really hard to just say, oh, it's just one person coming after Deshaun Watson right now.
No, there's 22 of them. 22. Hello, Jess. How are you?
You know, sometimes it takes 22 to find the right one, Jeff. You're 100% correct.
I keep looking for the right one. You can't get to that spot. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's just running the combine.
That's a fair point.
Trying to figure it out. But which company does Baker's commercials?
Progressive Insurance.
Is it Progressive?
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for the next one when they're back in a moving truck
That's
up to
right.
that stadium, moving him out.
Exactly right.
That's going to be great. They need to jump on that. I know people keep bringing up Seattle, but there's a reason why Russell Wilson left. And I don't think it was the wide receivers. I was thinking because he was running for his life. And if I was a quarterback, I don't know if Seattle can fix that one off season. Sure, you have those targets, but Russell Wilson was a better quarterback than you, and he didn't want to be there. So, but if you're Baker, I guess beggars can't be choosers, right?
Right. At this point, he's just looking for a place to play. I mean, what's he going to do?
Right. And we all knew this with the NFL going back to Mike Vick. That was a player that I honestly thought, Jeff, because of the PR nightmare it was going to be, I didn't think that guy would ever play again.
Now he's on
Not
your
only
TV.
did he play, he played at a high level.
And he's on your TV, and he's an analyst, and he's likable, and he completely rehabilitated his image.
Right. And we look back at somebody like Mike Tyson. We've had this same conversation with him before. He went to prison.
Yep.
For
Now
rape.
people love him.
He raped somebody.
Now people love
and
him.
we love him now.
Yeah.
So people can be rehabilitated in that sense. And if you're good, you get paid, period, point blank. And that's why the same argument comes up why Tim Tebow's not a quarterback right now, because he's not good.
Yep.
He's a good person, but he ain't a good quarterback.
Oh, that's right. No, your point's dead on, man. All right, appreciate you.
Have a good one.
See ya. That sums up everything you've been saying, right? It's everything you've been saying. And you guys are 100% right. But I'm sitting here and listening to this garbage. Wow. I mean, stop it. Stop it. Because...
And we're all part of this cycle, and I own it.
You guys, it's the same team that has Kareem Hunt. Do you remember the video of Kareem Hunt? Do you remember what Kareem Hunt did?
He sure did.
Kareem Hunt is on video, not only knocking a woman out, not kicking her while she's on the ground. But you cheer like hell when he scores that touchdown that puts you over the top on Sunday, that wins your fantasy game or wins the Browns a football game. Illustration. I mean, you guys are dead on right. All right, we're getting a storm. It's that time of year, right? Storms and then sun, and so your vehicle's filthy. You got grime all over it. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is who you should call. Have them take care of that for you. It's cold today. It's going to be warm tomorrow. Look, you don't have to clean your car. First of all, you can't do it as well as they can. On the Spot will come out and detail your car. They come to you wherever, whenever it's convenient. They'll detail it for you, inside, outside, even under the hood. I tell you this all the time because it's true. When they're done, it looks, feels, smells like the day you took it off the lot. Remember how fun that was to drive? You wanted to be in your car? That's what they do. After this storm, give them a call. Get your vehicle detailed. It's one of the coolest things ever. You're working, you're busy, you don't have time to take it somewhere. They're out in the parking lot. I just did it recently. I get a text, I go outside, and there's their team, and it is epic. And there's people just going, oh my gosh, I want to do that. And how can I do that? Well, it's easy. You call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They've got a military discount, 10%. It's a great gift. I did this gift for Valentine's Day. It went over really well. They offer 10% discount to our military. Give them a call. Book your appointment. The number is 505-859-2859. 859-2859, or you can go online at otsdetailing.com.
Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. for life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours. With faster response times to catch criminals and less associated costs. Call 897-2420 or go to ipsglobal.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Sports Animal.
Well, I got a little bit of Aggie news for you coming up in a little bit. Some transfer portal stuff. We'll do that in 8 o'clock this morning. 505-246-0610. Tony, good morning to you. How you living?
I'm living. But you know what? Let's set aside the pleasantries.
Yeah, go.
Okay? But you know what? Hey, JJ, kudos to you, man. That was great what you said about Cleveland, man. And if I wasn't driving right now, I would stand up and I would applaud you, man, because that's exactly what the Cleveland Browns did to the NFL. That's exactly what they did. I honestly tried to love Drew Lock and try to make excuses for him as far as, oh, no, it's because he's young and he's got to do this. I tried so hard, but I couldn't do it anymore, man. It became exhausting being a Drew Lock fan. It really did, okay? And compared to how Teddy Bridgewater played last year, I think Denver would have done worse had Drew Lock been our starting quarterback. That being said, Seattle, you want to hitch your wagon to Drew Lock, good luck, because it's going to be a very short ride. Baker, don't go to Seattle, Baker. Do not go. Take a backup somewhere for a year or something. I mean, don't do it, man. Don't do it. There's a reason why Russell Wilson wanted out of there. And from what I hear, Russell Wilson is a real stand-up guy. He's a good teammate and everything, and he wanted out of there. So it's very difficult. But you guys brought up a good point with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
You know, and what about Ray Rice?
Yeah. But Ray Rice never got back in. Now, Ray Rice never got another job. Now, he was 31 and he was at the back end. But he was 31 years old and was all right. He wasn't as good as Kareem Hunt, who was, 23. But have you watched that video lately? What Kareem Hunt did? But everything's fine with him.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man.
But, hey, you guys have yourself a good day, okay?
Drive safely. It's a great call. If you can win me football games, man, doesn't matter what you did. That's what it says. And as much as we all sit here in March and go, oh, it's just I can't believe that. In October, we're sitting there trading for that guy in our fantasy teams, aren't we? Oh, you mean the guy who kicked the woman? Yeah, but he scored 4 touchdowns last week. All right, I'll give you Drew Lock for him. Drew Lock. 505-246-0610. Got a little Aggie news for you next. We'll continue the talk on the NFL stuff. It's opening drive. A. Marie's back. I think I'll say that for the next, 4 weeks. Jeff, JJ, A. Marie, and Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Like what you hear? You could actually work.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. Don't sweat the technique. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Interesting question on the text line, and we're talking about Deshaun Watson, and will he be suspended? He will be suspended. For how long? And we talked about Kareem Hunt. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Kareem Hunt, of course, the running back of the Browns, who was with Kansas City, and I mean, we watched the video of him not only knocking a woman out, but kicking her while she was on the ground. The text line says, how is Deshaun Watson's case different than the Dodgers' Trevor Bauer? Shouldn't they both be released and banned from sport? Trevor Bauer is the Dodgers pitcher who was out last year on administrative leave. He didn't play the second half of the season. He got all of his $38 million salary and signing bonus because he's on leave. He's due $32 million this season. He was accused of sexual assault by a woman, if you recall. Last June, there was a petition seeking a restraining order against him. But a Superior Court judge in Los Angeles, denied the restraining order in August, said there was no evidence that Bauer would harm her. And the district attorney's office last month declined to file criminal charges against him. So it basically means he was investigated for assault by means likely to cause great bodily harm. And there were other things in there. And they're not charging him. So now what do you do with him? The Dodgers have basically said, we don't want him around. But they're under contract to him. They're going to have to pay him. Is this similar to that? Is this the same situation?
It has similarities to it.
He's been outspoken, man. He's been all over the Twitter. He's been all over the Twitter about rule changes and stuff. The Dodgers are going to have to deal with this now. It's similar. It's similar. All right, 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, A. Marie, Adrian, glad you're with us today. Coaching search will continue. But would you assume by next Monday, Tuesday, New Mexico State has a coach in place? About a week-long search?
About a week.
Yep. I mean, assuming
bring your finalists in, have those conversations.
Yeah, I think Mario's going to have conversations, probably interviews Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you know that James Miller is one of your finalists, the players are going to bat for him. And we've seen this before, and I think that happens often. When your program loses a coach because of success, you have players who are there that want to retain and promote the lead assistant. We saw that with Craig Neal. Paul Weir was promoted from Marvin Menzies' staff down at New Mexico State. It happened with Paul Weir at New Mexico after Steve Alford left. And it happens with differing degrees of success. Wasn't Mark Few promoted? Wasn't he on the staff at Gonzaga? And that's how he got that job. I mean, we've seen it happen, and it worked. You can cite me samples of success and failure on that. So James Miller is one of the candidates. We're hearing the name Greg Heyer. He's the coach at Northwest Florida. He played for Jans, coached with Jans, and is considered an up-and-comer. Ryan Miller's name I've heard. We yesterday bounced around Frank Martin's name and Greg Marshall. The Greg Marshall one is the one that gets the most eyebrows raised, right? And since we're having conversations about guys rehabilitating their reputation and their careers, and if you're telling me that Kareem Hunt can still play after what he did and Deshaun Watson's still going to play after what he did, can Greg Marshall be excused for allegedly physically abusing players? Who was an incredibly successful coach at Wichita State. In fact, he is the coach for whom Chris Jans was an assistant before Jans came to New Mexico State. Is there too much baggage there?
If you're New Mexico State, you have to take some chances, just like what they do.
They did with Jans.
With players. Chris Jans saying, and you go back to his incident, what got him fired at Bowling Green. I think what Mario Mocha would like is to not have to do that again.
He doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. And I think the program is in a position where they can get a good coach and they don't have to play that game again at the head coaching position. So while Greg Marshall might have the resume, he would not be my first choice for that job.
So do you like it without really knowing James Miller well? I mean, you know that he recruits well. He recruited Teddy Allen. He recruited a lot of that roster. The players love him. He likes Las Cruces. He wants the job. He's there. You feel like you can continue what you have. Greg Heyer, obviously, is a guy that is on the up and come. If there's a Frank Martin available, Frank Martin's a guy who's coached at Power 5 levels, who's made a lot of money, and has had success at Kansas State and a little bit at South Carolina. Which way do you like? What does your gut tell you on this?
I don't think it's going to be an assistant.
You don't? So you don't think James Miller gets this job? Okay.
But if it comes down to maybe like a Ryan Miller or someone else as opposed to Frank Martin or Greg Marshall, then I think that favors the assistant. But I think what we asked Mario Mochi yesterday when he joined us, and it's one of my things, it's how do you take yourself out of that bubble?
Yeah.
Like, because everyone's going to have their favorite that they're going to be hitting you with.
100%.
You might have a guy that you're like, ooh, I really like this guy. But how do you take yourself kind of out of that to look at the big picture? Because that is going to be the key. It always has to be about the big picture.
So every one of his AD buddies is going to call him with a guy, right? Everybody's got a guy. And look, you've been in this business long enough. You've got somebody, hey, can you make a call for me? I remember when the UNM football job was open 2 years ago when Danny got it? Remember the coaches that I told you were calling me, say, hey, can you call the AD? I'm right? And I showed you some of those. And I'm not a coach. I'm not an athletic director. So everybody's got a guy. Hey, have you thought about this person? Have you thought about this person? Have you thought this guy would be great? And so to your point, Mario's phone's blowing up. I don't know that I have a feel, to be honest with you, if James Miller is right. I look at Mario's last two basketball hires. They were both assistant coaches. Paul Weir, who had never been a head coach. And then he hired Jans, who had been a head coach for 1 year at Bowling Green, was a sitting assistant coach who had the issue at Bowling Green. So his last two basketball hires, JJ, were assistant coaches. Jans had 1 year of head coaching. Now, that 1 year, he was named the top first-year head coach in America, right? He won whatever that award is. I look at his football coaching hires. He didn't promote Doug Martin, right? Doug Martin was a McKinley Boston hire. So he brought in Jerry Kill, which is an interesting hire. So I don't know that there's a pattern. I mean, does two make a pattern? They were assistant coaches. I think Mario's done a hell of a job hiring coaches.
I agree with that.
I'll give him that. I think he's done a nice job hiring coaches with the resources that he's got. Now, he's not going to make anyone rich. Does that make it easier to bring in a guy like Frank Martin who's already gotten rich, right? Like Greg Marshall who's already gotten paid, or James Miller who's going to say, look, man, I just want the opportunity. I want to do what Jans did in 5 years. I want to get you to a point and so I can go get a job at the SEC. Where do you go? Last time you promoted a coach from your staff was Paul Weir. Paul Weir took you to the NCAA tournament, won one game, right? Didn't win one game, won a championship, and I meant stayed there 1 year. Was there 1 year? I don't know how much you rely on that. Nate Pryor, one of their guards, is in the transfer portal. The news coming out of these two schools, and granted, New Mexico State's season just ended 3 days ago. I've heard nothing out of New Mexico on transfer portals, and this is the first one I've heard from New Mexico State on transfer portal, is Nate Pryor going in. Have you heard anything else?
No, not as of right now.
Has it been relatively quiet around college basketball? Have you heard a lot? Is it not transfer portal season yet? Does the semester have to be over?
Because we're all focused on March Madness. The semester doesn't have to be over. Your season just has to be over.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, for guys, they're going to finish out their semesters, right? I mean, school-wise.
No, but you can put your name in the portal right now.
And finish out your...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It feels we like have been focused on the bracket and the games as opposed to scouring social media for the...
Yeah, but guys here, we would see it,
it's been
right?
quiet here, yes.
If somebody from the Lobos, if somebody from New Mexico State, and this was, in this case, in New Mexico State, Nate Pryor, we would know that, right?
Yes, we would.
All right. So that's the first one you see. And I think, I mean, Teddy Allen didn't have any more transfers. Like, everybody's like, is Teddy going to stay? Well, he's played at 5 schools. Like, unless he's graduated, JJ, and I don't know that he has or he's not. If he's a graduate transfer, he can go right away. But you only get the one free transfer. You can't transfer every single year without having to sit out. I know it just seems that way, right? People tell me, oh, well, what about Mashburn and House, and will they stay? Well, they both use their free transfer already, right?
Yep.
So it's not like those guys can just up and leave, and I don't think they're going anywhere. J. Allen Tovar's made it very clear he's staying, right?
Yes, he is.
I don't think Sebastian Forsling's going anywhere. Who else are you worried about? Terran Todd already used his free transfer, right? It's going to be guys coming in. All right. If you want to get in on the coaching search on at New Mexico State as well, you can throw whatever name you want. You know, Tony Benford's name came up yesterday. I'm sure that there's been calls made on his behalf. The Ryan Miller name is interesting. Is Ryan Miller, like, we're about due for him to get a shot, aren't we? He's been an assistant coach and at a lot of good programs. He was at New Mexico. He was at UNLV. He was at TCU. I don't even know where he is now. But it feels like he's about due for a shot. But we'll see. But, JJ, the two names that really I see the most around the New Mexico State job are James Miller and Greg Heyer. Now, that doesn't mean Mario doesn't have something in his pocket. Jerry Kill came out of nowhere, right?
He did.
So when they hired football-wise. 505-246-0610, come on in. When we get back, the Masters is about, 3 weeks away? 2.5, 2 weeks from now, right? One of the biggest names in golf will not be there. Why? And how do you feel about that? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough.
All right, the Masters is coming up 2 weeks from now. It's a week after the Final Four. Jim Nantz goes from calling the Final Four in one shining moment to, hello, friends. It's a tradition unlike any other, Marie. The Masters. 30 years Phil Mickelson's been playing in the Masters. This would have been his 30th start. It will not be as of now. The three-time Masters champion is not on the official list of participants. He has been listed among those who will not participate. He's 51 years old. Mickelson, of course, had that whole dust-up with the PGA when he was flirting. Well, not flirting. He was promoting the Saudi Tour and going after the PGA and had some really controversial comments and then had to come back and apologize, and it's been bizarre. If you recall, part of his apology was, quote, the past 10 years, I have felt the pressure and stress slowly affecting me at a deeper level. I know I have not been my best and desperately need some time away to prioritize the ones I love most and work on being the man I want to be, end quote. He hasn't played since January on the PGA Tour and played since early February period. I'm surprised because I felt, and I think most people felt, all right, Phil would disappear, but he would resurface at the Masters. There would be a press conference. He would do a mea culpa. He would apologize in his Phil way. His sponsors have bailed on him. KPMG and Workday and Callaway have all either paused or severed ties with him. I'm surprised, though, aren't you, that he's not going to play in the Masters?
I am surprised. It felt like that was going to be his return. He talks through it saying, hey, I was looking at something to try to make changes, the game for the players in the PGA Tour, bring some things to light. Got a little over my skis with some things, and it feels like most people at that point would be like, okay. You'd let it simmer, cool down, jump out and say, yeah, those are probably the people you don't want to get in bed with at this point in time.
Yep.
You got it. Let's move on. But he's taking a longer approach at this.
Since today is the day of redemption here on this show, we're just talking about people rehabilitating their image and their persona. He is the defending champion at the PGA Championship, which is the next major, which will be late in May, I believe. I got to believe he goes and defends that, doesn't he?
Is this him just trying to play the woe is me, everyone was trying to come after me cards?
I don't know.
You don't get me at the Masters.
Yeah, I don't know that that's right, because I don't know how that plays. I mean, how does that play in his favor? Woe is me. I don't think anybody's buying into woe is me. I think the right approach is what you just said, and I haven't been myself, and his whole thing with the comments that came out is that they were off the record. And with the writer Milchuk, what was the writer's name?
Alan Shipnuck.
Alan Shipnuck. I'm thinking Milchuk, but it was Shipnuck. And Shipnuck's like, well, no, and who's a very respected writer, by the way. There was nothing off the record, and look, there was talk about these guys are bad people and they kill people, but they're good people. What are you talking about, dude? he said that he was working with the Saudis and they're scary, but he was looking past their controversial history of human rights violations to gain leverage with the PGA Tour. Like what, Phil? You made millions on the PGA Tour because of the PGA Tour. I mean, like millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars because of the PGA Tour. As much as you made playing golf and then your endorsements, it was ridiculous, and everybody kind of looked at it. And it was leverage, and he was vested in that Saudi tour, and so everybody kind of looked at him. And then Rory McIlroy called him out, right? And then one by one, the players on tour said, he's out of his mind, and now the Saudi tour has kind of gone away, and Phil's got no choice, and he's 51, and where's he going to play? And Phil Mickelson's a Hall of Famer, one of the best, certainly one of the best of our generation, and one of the best of all times, but.
He was chasing money.
Yes.
It was an opportunity for him to kind of be the big dog backed by a lot of dollars on another tour. And instead of taking the business approach to it, he tried to add like a personal connection, which that's where it just really rubbed everyone the wrong way. There's sporting events in other countries. Like we're watching, Formula One right now. In the Middle East, you're going on with the races. You're like, all right, this is where the track is. This is where a race will move on. You don't see those guys going, well, you know what? I'm overlooking what these guys are doing. They're there to do their job. And Phil Mickelson just fell over himself. Instead of just trying to keep it straight business, was like, hey, this was an opportunity I was looking at. Maybe it would push some people in the PGA to maybe open the purses a little bit more, but it didn't go anywhere. He went into this, well, maybe they're not that bad of people because they're offering me a lot of money.
Phil a bad guy?
I don't think Phil's a bad guy.
Because he's getting killed for this, and I think I'm with you. This was bad. This was bad. This is a bad look. This was a bad
overlook
move.
all the things they're doing because
this is a bad move. Now Phil said, quote, although it doesn't look this way now, given my recent comments, my actions throughout this process have always been with the best interests of golf, my peers, sponsors, and fans. There's the problem of off-the-record comments being shared out of context and without my consent. But the bigger issue is that I use words that do not reflect my true feelings or intentions. I was reckless, I offended people, and I'm deeply sorry for my choice of words. I'm beyond disappointed and will make every effort to self-reflect and learn from this, end quote. It's an apology, but I'm sorry, but it was off the record. See that...
I'm not buying the off-the-record stuff at all.
It's hard, right? It's really hard. It's hard. You were talking to a reporter who was doing a story.
Well, he's writing your biography, man.
He's writing your biography. Yeah, maybe you trust him a little bit more, and so you tell him some stuff that you think is off the record. The bottom line, it's a bad look. Phil has been great for the game of golf. Can we agree on that?
This is why I'm surprised he's not at the Masters.
Right.
Very surprised.
After Tiger Woods, who's in a different shelf when it comes to who's been great for golf. Wouldn't you say Phil Mickelson has been as good for golf over the last 25 years as anybody else, if not better?
Yes.
And when I say good for golf, meaning you watch to see him.
It's not going to be the same.
Well, it'll be no Phil, no Tiger.
Phil, no Tiger.
The Masters still going to be really damn good.
Of course it is.
I'm watching every one of these tournaments, by the way, and they're all really good. Like, these young golfers are so freaking good, okay? But here's a guy at 50 years old who won the PGA last year, and we all rooted for him, didn't we? And we all talked about this is one of the greatest
Sam
things.
Burns does not move the needle.
No,
the same
Sam
way
Burns
Tiger
doesn't move the... I get it. They're really good, but they're not Tiger and Phil. You're 100% right. I mean, somebody's got to be a personality soon, right? Because as good as Justin Thomas is and Dustin Johnson is, do you know anything about them? Like, what do you kind of felt you knew a little bit about Phil and Tiger, right? Mm-hmm. Who are the personalities that are going to take it? No, JJ, you're 100% right. Well, it just straight up golf is really good. Who are the personalities that are going to move this? What do you know about Xander Schauffele? Right? What do you know about Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth? Yeah, no, that's right. But hey, Marie, when we sat here a year ago, and I know you weren't with us then, but when Phil won the PGA, we were marveling about a 50-year-old man who was at the top of the game that had just won a major that beat all these young guns, and what an amazing performance it was. And it was, right? And how good it was for golf.
Yes.
That's when I say, what Phil did is It was horrible. What he said was despicable. You got to decide whether or not you're buying his apology. But outside of Tiger Woods in the last quarter of a century, there's been nobody better for golf than him. Now, I say outside of Tiger Woods. I mean, Tiger Woods is in a different league. But Phil Mickelson has been great for the game of golf. Is there anybody even close to number 2? I mean, there's not, is there?
Nope. It's been Tiger and Phil.
Right? I mean, it's not even close to. Was there anybody? Well, Spieth was really good for a minute, and DJ was really good for a minute, and well, Sergio worldwide, and okay, but it's been these two guys, and that's why I'm stunned that he's not going to be at the Masters. Still looking forward to the Masters. I will still watch a tradition unlike any other. I think you probably will too, but it's going to be different. But I do believe he'll be there to defend the PGA, don't you? He comes back and defends his championship, right? Or maybe not. I mean, he's a 3-time Masters guy. Will he go to the dinner?
I don't even know if he's been around. Has he even talked to the commissioner of the PGA Tour yet?
Okay, so this isn't a PGA event. The Masters is not a PGA run event, right? The Masters is its own thing. It's run by the Augusta National Golf Club.
They'll probably be there 100% then.
Who won? Hideki last year? He gets to choose the champions dinner? Nice. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Is Phil a bad guy? Did you like Phil before? Do you like Phil now? I get it. It's a hot take. It's easy. Oh, he's a jerk. He's an a-hole. Maybe he is. Tell you what, there's been nobody more ingratiating to the fans. Like now, you can tell me that's disingenuous all you want, but that's the guy who makes the fans feel good. He signs a golf ball or shakes your hand or signs your visor. Nobody spent more time shaking hands and signing autographs than he does. Is that all just image building? Maybe. Maybe it is. But he does it. He makes the fan feel good. Does that make him a complete a-hole? I struggle thinking he's a complete a-hole. Now, I heard he's kind of a jerk. I heard he's kind of a cool guy. I heard he's grown up. I heard he was a jerk when he was young, kind of like Tiger, right? And kind of matured, and the players now like him. We all go through a maturation process, don't we? Kind of young, brash, cocky. Then we realize life hits you in the face and knocks you down a few pegs, and you become a little bit more real. I don't know. There's a process through all of it. Hey, what's your financial goal? You probably have a few of them, don't you? Kirtland Federal Credit Union can help you with all of that. They got products and personal services. You can get you anywhere you want to be. Want to buy a car? Competitive rates and unbeatable service. They can help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments you can live with. Looking for a new home? You can choose from a wide variety of mortgage programs and partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. Looking to improve your home? Turn the value of the house you have now into cash. You can use that for home improvements, upgrades, and more. And if you're planning for retirement, investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services. Talk to an advisor today and start walking the path to a confident future. Ask them about the Independence debit card, the little red card backed by Go Anywhere, Buy Anything Power of Visa. It offers you exclusive purchase rewards in your online banking account. Kirtland Federal Credit Union can get you wherever it is you want to go. Stop by one of their branches or check them out online. KirtlandFCU.org. That's KirtlandFCU.org. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender. See a representative for complete details.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, we got PBR tickets to give away too, right, Anne-Marie? Don't forget, because Mandy will come in and remind us. Mandy, our promotions, what guru, hero, expert?
The president of promotion.
Oh, yeah, the princess of promotions. There's no doubt. All right, so you sent me the player of the decade is Rory, and that's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm not telling you Phil was the player of the decade. I'm telling you as far as influential in golf. I think we would all admit, and you don't have to be around and follow golf for the last 25 years. You just look at the history, right? I mean, it's like I wasn't around when Lincoln was president, but I know about him. Everybody said, well, that's before my time. Well, I mean, that's fine. If we're going to be well learned about life, can we know about stuff before we're here? Rory might be the player of the decade, but to me, there's no argument.
Rory's the player of the decade?
Well, this is what A-Marie just sent me.
No, I
according
sent
to PGA
top
Tour.
10 PGA Tour. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Bubba Watson was before Phil. Yeah.
Yeah, she sent me. So
it's like I thought it was an interesting list.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a good list, and she's got Rory as the number one of the last decade. Rory, Dustin, and they're all okay. So the fact that they're all first name guys, that says something, right? Yeah. If I say Rory, what do you think of? Right? Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, they're all first. Brooks, old Brooksy was number 4.
Old Brooksy.
Tiger was 5th, Justin Thomas 6th, Justin Rose 7th, Jason Day 8th, Bubba 9th, and then Phil 10th. This is good stuff you sent. It's PGAtour.com, best of the decade. It was written, well, that's 2019, so it best of that decade. But whether he's the best player or not, if we're having a conversation about most influential, who brought more people to the game, who brought more money to the game, who helped bring the purses up, it's Tiger and Phil. There's good names on that list. Bubba was good. Dustin, I mean, Koepka's great. Are you watching? You'll watch the John Deere, or you'll watch the Honda, or you'll watch the Farmers, or you'll watch if Tiger's there. All you kind of peripheral golf fans, right? You'll all watch if Tiger's playing, maybe even if Phil. You might not watch last week's tournament, the Valspar, at Innisbrook outside of Tampa. Yeah, I know that because I watch that crap. Right? And some of you watch every soccer match, and some of you watch every NASCAR. That's your thing. That's cool. I'm not telling you you should or you shouldn't. But I'll watch all that. But some of you, if Tiger was playing, you'd have watched, right? You didn't watch the Valspar. You watch the hoops. That's cool. That's your thing. That's why the good Lord invented the remote control. What?
Is there too much golf on?
There's not too much golf.
Never.
Well, I mean, it's like there's too much everything on it. You can watch whatever it is you want. That's the point. You want to watch tennis right now, you can find the tennis channel and you watch the tennis channel. But as far as influential, JJ, I don't even think it's an argument. Now, is he a good guy? You can have that conversation. But was he doing something that was good for the game of golf when he did all this?
He thought he was doing something good for the game of golf.
He says he was.
Which is more about himself that he tried to spin.
He was
for
looking at
everyone else.
cash, yes. And look, you know what? Let me ask you this.
Get chasing the money.
But let me play devil's advocate just for a second, okay? Just for a second. What if that European or that Saudi tour took off, and these guys did get more money, and they did get the rights to the media rights that they were looking for, and he would have swung all these young golfers over to that tour? Well, it might not have been good for the PGA Tour. Would it have been good for golf? Would it have been good for golfers?
For golfers.
Okay.
But he didn't keep it business.
No, he did.
He tried to spin it some awkward way about bringing in the human rights and all this other stuff.
Well, it was presented to him that look what these guys are doing, and then he tried to spin it.
And then you could just, it's business opportunity looking into it like everyone else did. Let's look at all these other corporations or events that are going on.
Yep. No, but if you want to play devil's advocate for a moment and say, if he would have pulled this off and got all these guys over there and they all started making more money,
and you're just
and we would have watched the tournaments, we would have
watched them at the only thing for us is different times.
Yeah. Would have been better for golf. I don't know. It would have been better for golf worldwide. Would it have grown the game in Saudi Arabia and in Asia and Africa? It might have.
Probably not.
It might have. Adolph,
there's a lot of great access to the game of golf in those places.
But it would all of a sudden increase. Adolph, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, I was listening to the conversation regarding Phil Mickelson.
Yeah.
You know, fellas, I've always thought that an apology with a but attached is not really an apology. It's an excuse, essentially. And so when I heard Phil say it, pronounce it like that, I thought to myself, that's typical Phil. He's always looking for the way out to blame someone. It's like, dude, you have to own it if you said it. just go ahead and just own it, you know. So, and the other thing that I was thinking about, there was a conversation earlier about whether an assistant coach should be elevated in the same program to the head spot, to the top chair.
Yep.
And, you know, I was thinking back, and I thought to myself, I said, you know what, sometimes that can work, and sometimes it doesn't. And I'll tell you why it can't work at times. It's because the assistant coach is essentially like a go-between between the players and the head coach. The assistant coach in a program becomes the player's friend. And if a player's having a problem, the player can't just bypass the assistant coach and go straight to the top.
Right.
Oh, no. And so the assistant coach becomes the player's friend and confidant, and that person then becomes the contact between the player and the head coach. Now, sometimes that can work, but other times what happens here is once the assistant is elevated to the top chair in the same program, that can cause a problem because now, being in the top chair, that coach is not concerned about, on an individual basis, a particular individual player's problem. And so the player doesn't know how to deal with that because the player feels like, well, this person was my friend, and now all of a sudden the relationship has changed. And sometimes that can be to the detriment of an entire program. Anyway, fellas, thanks for taking my call. I've talked enough.
It's really good. Thank you. So, and that's why it works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. Mark Few was an assistant at Gonzaga, and he got promoted, and he's done well. Tom Izzo was an assistant at Michigan State. Now, not immediately before he was hired as head coach. Well, he was. He was an assistant head coach from 83 to 85, and when Judd Heathcote retired, he's been the head coach there since 1995. You realize how long that is to be a head coach? So it worked for Izzo, it worked for Few, it worked for other coaches, and it didn't work in other places. I don't think this is an exact science.
Yeah, this isn't one where you can say that, but there's so much roster turnover to me that doesn't matter anymore. Of going from good cop to bad cop, like you're not carrying over as many players, and to me it's about experience and opportunity because we're watching one happen right now. Mark Adams, Texas Tech, he was their assistant. Chris Beard left.
16.
They're like, all right, you're the head coach. You're in Sweet 16. So there's not an exact science. Like, yeah, you can lay it out that route, but I think just as many times you say, well, he goes from the guy that they can't trust, then it works. So it's like with anything else, there's not one road you can take.
I can't agree with you more. And so you've really got to judge the personalities. And even then, look, I will still sit here and tell you, and I understand how Craig Neal worked out as head coach at New Mexico.
Was it worth it for that last run?
Let me just tell you, I thought I will still sit here. I'll own it. I 100% believe that was the right hire. I thought that I said it then. I'll tell you now, it was the right hire. Well, how do you say that, Jeff? It was horrible. Well, was it? I think there were a lot of things that worked out horribly, and I still firmly believe that if Cullen would have gone to St. Mary's, things would have been different around here, but maybe not. But it was the right move. That program was in a good place. You had a longtime assistant who I think we all believed at the time, JJ was ready to be a head coach, right? So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Was Paul Weir the right coach when Marvin Menzies left New Mexico State to go to UNLV? Was Paul Weir the right guy? He'd been there a long time. You promoted him. You had another great year. You won the WAC. You went to the NCAA tournament, and he got plucked. I don't think there's no exact science on this. And for every example that you can give me that didn't work, there's one that did, or vice versa. So Adolph's not wrong. It's a role change. In the immediate, yes, there's a change in dynamics on that immediate roster, right? So all these players were clamoring for James Miller down there. It's going to be an immediate change. Well, he's not my conduit anymore. What's my? But they're all going for him. But 2 years from now, that roster is going to be completely turned over, and so you're going to have a new number one assistant who recruited all these guys that'll go through that guy. So do you ride the momentum of what you have now to get you to then? I think you got to judge on the individuals and on your gut, because I don't think there's an exact science on this, and I don't know that there's a proven trend.
There's not a proven trend. It comes down to the coach you are and the recruiter you are, and the recruiters you put yourself around. I think for New Mexico State, Chris Jans, while there was, the consistency with Marvin Menzies, they built a winning reputation. With Chris, it feels like it got to a level that you didn't even feel with Menzies or even that 1 year with where they were, New Mexico State takes the floor and you feel they could compete with anyone.
Yeah. I know we got a break. 505-246-0610. I want to continue this conversation. I want your thoughts on it because Adolph's point is right, but it's not exact, if that makes sense. It's the opening drive at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When cold and flu season has you down,
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
You trusted your home or business security to a company with an armed response. They sold out to a national corporate giant, and you're stuck on the brink of less security. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service. IPS isn't for sale. I'm invested here, and I care about your home and business as if it's my own. Let the highly trained armed guards or 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what's yours.
So I'll go and then I'll ask you to hold. 505-246-0610. Jerome, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Jeff, did you ever have a chance to look up the discrepancies with UNM budgeting?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and you weren't wrong on it.
Okay. Hey, and another thing, you know what, and I don't want to keep harping on a lot of this stuff, but, you know, the Mountain West Conference, 4 teams in, 4 teams out. The closest game with San Diego State, I think they were ahead by double digits at one point. But don't be thinking that the conference is all that mighty. But I have a suggestion for Lobo fan. If you think the WAC is that weak, you know, we're leaving. Fill the void. Go into the WAC and see if you make it to the NCAA tournament like we've been doing. There's your solution right there. Anyway, I'm hoping that James Miller gets an interview. I know he is. Moses said he was going to get one. But, you know, with assistant coaches, I think you're hit and miss. I think sometimes, like you were saying, it's successful with some of the ones that you had. And I watched him coach the UNM game when Jans was out with COVID. And, of course, there were a lot of circumstances with the light, with the outage and different things like that. But, you know, he didn't do a great job. But, you know, that's part of the territory is learning how to do that. So, you know, I wouldn't mind if they gave him a shot, and the players seem to want him and things like that too. But if there's somebody better out there, you know, then you have to look at that, and you got to go that direction, because that guy's going to bring in some people too. But I'm enjoying your show, guys. Keep up the great work.
All right, thanks, Jerome. Hey, sorry about the short segment. Ruben, Rudy, stay there. We're going to get to you as soon as we get back from this break. It's top of the hour. 9 o'clock, the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Shawty with NFL Network now on the Westwood One Radio Network. It's official. After 14 seasons in Atlanta, Matt Ryan is heading to Indianapolis to be the new starting quarterback for the Colts. In exchange, the Falcons will receive the Colts' third-round pick in this year's draft. Since arriving in Atlanta as the third overall pick in 2008, Ryan earned 4 Pro Bowl nods, a first-team All-Pro selection, and was named the NFL's MVP in 2016. As for who the Falcons quarterback will be, they signed Marcus Mariota to a 2-year, $18.75 million deal, according to our Mike Garafolo. Mariota has backed up Derek Carr in Vegas the last 2 seasons. The move reunites Mariota with Coach Arthur Smith, who served as the Titans' offensive coordinator in Mariota's final season in Tennessee in 2019. That's not all for quarterback news. The Saints are re-signing quarterback Jameis Winston to a 2-year deal with a base value of $28 million, $21 million guaranteed. That from NFL Network, Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
State Farm is there.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually
Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
High school sports are
Voted Voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is The Opening Drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cindietta, and J.J. Buck.
Just a couple of lines open for you at 505-246-0610. We're talking about the coaching search in New Mexico State. And what's the right way? And I don't know that I think that there is a proven pattern to promote an assistant or not. You're active on the text line as well. Mud says the Aggies should go after Dr. Paul Weir. I know they can't afford a high-caliber coach right now. Also from Mud, Aggie fans were crying when Krebs stole him away, so we'll get him back. This one says, I can assure you, Jeff, no one in your audience cares as much about this Phil Mickelson subject like you do. Next. I guarantee you there's a few. I promise you there's a few out there. Maybe not you, Mr. or Mrs. Text or Ms. Texter. One subject, bro. All right, ready? 505-246-0610. Ruben, good morning to you. How are you? Thanks for holding.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. I have a question for you guys. Reggie Diaz, Menzie, and Paul Weir, all very successful at UNM, and I think they all went to the big dance, but no success after they left the Aggies. Is this Jans different, or will he be successful? I'd like to hear from you guys. Thank you.
All right, Ruben, thanks. We had this question yesterday, right? Rudy, I was just going to Rudy, and Rudy just left. Does Jans feel different to you? Reggie went to the NBA.
Yes, 100%. Because you don't have to be great to get an opportunity at Mississippi State. You have to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You have a winning record, that conference, you pick off some teams.
Can you win there?
Get to the NCAA tournament. Yes.
Okay. I think that's different too. Okay.
Way different than going to UNLV and UNM.
Reggie Theus went to the NBA, went to Sacramento. I asked you this question yesterday. Who is one at Sacramento as a head coach besides Rick Adelman? And the answer is nobody. Okay. That's been a franchise that has lost, except for that one little stretch, its entirety. Paul came here, had success one year, and didn't work. Marvin went to UNLV and didn't work well. Chris feels a little different. It does. It just feels different. Time will tell. I don't know that there's, you draw patterns. What's a trend? Is 2 a trend? Is 3 a trend? Does that mean you should never hire a coach from New Mexico State? You got to base it on the individual. Rudy, thanks for holding. What's happening?
Good luck getting a coach. But what Jerome just did there is why Lobo fans couldn't care less about Aggie fans. Get on and try to belittle stuff. Look, enjoy your success, but don't come and try to stick it in Lobo fan face because we own you guys. So I don't understand where this comes from. And you guys have fought like hell to get out of the WAC. Why would we go there? We're headed for the top of the Mountain West. By the way, when people get all upset about 0-4, how many Big Ten teams are in this year? 9?
I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
9? Almost the whole Big Ten, and there's 2 left. And that's just basketball, and that's, a lot has changed with COVID, especially in sports. Anybody thought, show me your bracket, anybody out there that has St. Peter's going this far.
Right.
It's sports, and anything can happen. Sometimes assistants work, and sometimes they don't. When they elevated Norm Ellenberger to head coach, it worked out pretty good for UNM for a while, and then the wheels came off. So it might happen. I'm not in favor, and it all depends on the relationship between your head coach and your assistant coach in terms of what their duties are and how they do things. A lot of people were biting their lip when Craig Neal got the job because they just didn't think that he could elevate himself to a head coach, and they were right. But everybody in this town seemed like was all over Craig Neal. And
I was.
We got to
look, I thought it was right, Rudy, and I think didn't you at the time? Didn't you think it was the right move?
Yeah, but I had heard from other people, the cautionary tale.
Oh, look, I had too. I thought Craig was ready to grow into that role. I heard all that. I knew all that too. I thought it was right, and obviously we were wrong.
Yeah, you thought and you hoped it would happen, but it doesn't always happen.
Right.
So finally, thoughts is there's only one team left playing basketball in the state, and it's the women. And I wish them all the luck in the world. Corvallis is not only a tough place to play, but it's just a tough place to get to, and you know all about that, Jeff.
Well, I mean, you fly into Portland and drive down a half hour. It's not like going to Pullman, but yeah.
No, it's not. Pullman is by the railroad tracks, and it's probably easier to take the train there. But it's a flight. Yeah. It's a flight halfway across the country. So I wish the women all the best on Thursday night, and maybe, just maybe, we get to the Elite Eight.
Right on. All right, Rudy, thanks. Ladies are up. All right, so what do you know about Oregon State? Have you been studying on Oregon State's women's team yet for Lobos on Thursday?
It's just a different world when you get into Pac-12 basketball. You're going down the roster, it's like 6'9", 6'9".
6'9"?
There's 2 players that are 6'9". Got a 6'6" sophomore that was Gatorade Player of the Year in Kansas, McDonald's
Really?
All-American.
Damn.
And then you're like, oh, they were 16 and 13 overall. You're just like, what?
When was the last time you saw a 6'9" lady on the other side?
I have not seen one this season.
Wow. All right. There's been some upsets in the tournament. South Dakota beating Baylor. Is that right?
We
saw UConn get pushed last night.
UCF almost got UConn.
Tennessee got pushed last night. They won by 3.
Oh, man, I'm just totally blanking. I had this at this
First
might
one
be the
got
most like double-digit seeds that have ever advanced. It feels like they'll look that up in the women's tournament.
Well, I mean, I always say if I'm going to do a women's bracket, I'll just go chalk because it always feels just chalk, chalk, chalk. Take the white shirts, but it feels different. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. The text line is open, 505-246-0610 as well. Emails coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. This one's from James. He wants to talk about the women. Jeff, I think playing the Power 5 on the road ultimately is better for this program than playing another San Diego or Team Talk a lot at Wise Pies. P.S. That was the shortest pregame show ever on the Big Stick Sunday. It didn't start until 1:50. You had, a 15-minute pregame show?
Yeah, it's cut in half.
It was.
Programming things.
Do you agree with that? It's better for the program overall to go play a Power Conference program on the road than get what he says, so a team from the WAC or the West Coast Conference to come into your gym.
Well, here's the thing. If there wasn't bull riding, that Oregon State team would probably be playing at the Pit.
That's probably right? I mean,
you want that opportunity to play the team, not necessarily wherever it is you'll play it.
And it's a Thursday
big,
night.
Strong Pac-12 opponent.
It would have been nice to get him at home. I mean, is it better to play him on the road? I don't know.
No, it would have been better.
Probably better to get him in your place, don't you think? Now, is it better to play a team like that than San Diego or Grand Canyon? If you beat them.
Oh boy, and did San Diego get your attention though?
Yeah, they did. They played. Look, the West Coast Conference has basketball. With all due respect, and I know this is going to ruffle feathers, and I know this is going to make people upset. And as good.
Yeah, San Diego was top 100 net team.
Look, as good as your
Grand Canyon wasn't the same area code.
No. That as good as the Mountain West was in basketball this year, and I'm talking about men's basketball. As good of a year as you had, West Coast Conference is better basketball conference right now. What do you mean, Jeff? San Diego State and Colorado? Yes. Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and San Francisco at the top 3. I mean, who's the top 3 in the Mountain West? It would be Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, right?
Mm-hmm.
In whatever order. Who's the stronger 3? Boise State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Gonzaga, St. Mary's, San Francisco. BYU's their next team. Santa Clara's right after that. That's your Wyoming and your UNLV. And this isn't belittling the Mountain West. Now, when you say Michael's better than LeBron, that doesn't mean you think LeBron stinks.
It's almost though, how do you, because if you're putting Gonzaga in it, it's going to be West Coast Conference all day, every day.
All right, but look what St. Mary's was a 5. What was your highest seed was a 6. San Francisco was a 10. You had a 6 2/8. Now, does seeding mean everything? It doesn't. But St. Mary's did win a game in the tournament, didn't they?
They did.
They blew the doors off of a Big Ten team, didn't they? The Big Ten team that beat Wyoming, didn't they? Blew the doors off of a team that beat your number 4 team. Gonzaga pushes everything that way. And I'm just telling you, and I saw San Francisco in person in the Thanksgiving tournament, and I watched them push that Murray State. Now, Murray State lost to St. Peter, so you're going to tell me. But that's a good basketball league, man. That is a good basketball league. All right, you want to give away some PBR tickets here in a minute? All right, 505-246-0610. We're going to give them away here in just a moment. Aaron Jones owns International Protective Service, IPS. That's the security company that watches my home. I've trusted them for years to watch my home, and I suggest you do it as well for your home and or your business. Back in 2006 is when he started with security for some homeowners in Fort Hills. Here we are 16 years later, and homeowners and business owners all over Albuquerque trust International Protective Service to protect what they've worked so hard to build. Aaron's from here. He's passionate about making Albuquerque a safer place to live and work. They watch your home and business with highly trained armed guards, 24-hour patrols. I go out of town. I let them know. If Monday's garbage day, they roll the garbage cans to the curb and back. If there's a package dropped off, they will pick it up so it doesn't sit on the porch and wait for somebody else to get it. They hold it for me. If you got newspapers, mail to pick up, they'll do that for you as well. Call IPS, protect what's important to you. Don't wait to be a victim. Committed to our city and to your protection. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. Or go to ipsglobal.com. All right, let's give away, what do we got, 2 PBR tickets, Ty Murray Invitational. Caller number 2, is that what you said? No, caller number 22? No, caller number 5 right now. Caller 5 right now. 505-246-0610. You will get those tickets. Caller 5-246-0610.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do his dream of what to do with it next.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games.
Grady sent me a message. He said, tell my guy Rudy I said the exact same thing yesterday comparing the Mountain West to the Big Ten. Come on, man. By the way, he says WCC is a better conference right now, 100%. Look, that's not insulting to the Mountain West. No. The Mountain West is a top 10 conference. There's what, Power 6 in college basketball? There's 32 conferences. There's the Power 6. And I don't think the Pac-12 was very strong this year. The Big East is one of the Power 6s. You got your football Power 5 in the Big East. And then after that, you got the West Coast Conference, and I think the Mountain West would be probably 8th. Right? Is there a better conference after that? Well, Jeff, the West Coast Conference only got 3. The Mountain West got 4. They did. That's right. They have Gonzaga.
And you can't come with look at the Big Ten, because they're always going to get those teams.
Mm-hmm.
This, for some people having this conversation, it's really hard to separate the NCAA tournament from the regular season, because some people only tune in for March and they see 0-4, and they see, the Mountain West is only a third conference in the last 30 years that's gotten more than 3 teams in and didn't win a game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't spin that stuff.
No, you can't.
And, this is the ultimate matchup game. And you know that when you talk about the brackets and you watch the game. But for a lot of people, they just see 0-4 and go, can't do it.
Mike says, reply to Jerome, Jeff Alou. I've heard Lobo fans tell me the same thing. They'd rather be New Mexico State, win in Vegas, and at least be in the big dance every year, even if it's a 13 or 14 seed. I just don't believe that. Do you? Do you believe Lobo fan would rather be in the WAC, win 4 out of 5 years in that league, and go to the NCAA tournament, be a 12, 13, 14 seed?
No one would rather be a 13 or 14 seed.
As opposed to a 0 seed? As opposed to not being in? I mean, the Aggies have been going. The Lobos have not.
The Lobos are also in a conference.
Right.
That if you're good, the Lobos just haven't been good. They have not been good. It's not the conference. They haven't been good. So New Mexico is good. They're going to have an opportunity, unlike teams in the WAC get, to where you can get in that large bid.
All right. And I agree with you. But the counter would be, New Mexico State won 1 and 2 against the WAC or Mountain West this year. They lost to New Mexico, beat New Mexico, and lost to Utah State. Okay, but they went further in the NCAA tournament than any of your teams did. It's
all about having the opportunity to get in, and there is more of an opportunity to get to the NCAA tournament as a Mountain West team than finding that formula to be the best team in the WAC.
Because the answer is if you don't have a good 3 days, or in the WAC's case, 2 days in Vegas, right? Then you're not getting in out of that league. You can be, and we've seen it, right? You can go 29 4 and be the regular season champion and lose on Friday or Saturday in Vegas in the WAC, and you're not getting in.
Which it will be really interesting to watch what happens. Is it as easy as everyone thinks? For when New Mexico State goes to Conference USA, does Grand Canyon just start running that league?
It's a really good question because I think that league, I think Tarleton's going to get better just because who their coach is. I think Utah Valley's getting better, although they're big guys in the transfer portal. Sam Houston's going to the Conference USA with the Aggies. That'll be interesting to watch. Jay, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you all?
Good. How you living?
I'm living kind of chubby.
Attaboy.
Up a couple of pounds, but, trying to get my summer body back.
Good for you. What's up?
So, I wanted to get on about the 0-4 of the Mountain West, and here's the thing. I'm not a Mountain West honk, but I'll say this. That is a lazy argument because the NCAA tournament is not necessarily doesn't really tell you much about conferences in terms of how strong a conference is because it's all matchups, and it's if you're the higher seeded team, you're going to get into a situation sometimes where you become very tight at the end of the game because you are expected to win. There's a lot of factors in play. No one's on a home court. There may be some home, in air quotes, home court advantages because you play closer to your home than the team that's the lower seed. Granted, but no one's playing on a home court. There's a lot of unfamiliarity with the building, etc. So, I don't usually take up for the Mountain West Conference, but I am going to say that 0-4, saying that, well, the Mountain West is garbage because they went 0-4, it's a lazy argument.
Yeah, they're not garbage because it's 0-4, but Jay, I'm going to push back on you a little bit, okay? While I agree, and Jay, I need you in on this because I agree that it's matchups. But at some point, you had 4 teams in there. You can't tell me, well, they all got bad matchups. Well, Wyoming played a physical team and a good Big Ten team in Indiana. Well, Boise State, who you just told me about geography, played in Portland, which is a drive from Boise, and they had the fans. But they played a tough athletic team in Memphis. That was a bad matchup. Colorado State got a physical. At some point, you got to match up against somebody, don't you? You had 3 teams. 3 of your teams were in white shirts. 3 were the higher seeds. Yeah. At some point, you got to get a matchup.
Yeah, and to a degree, I do agree with you, but I don't think it diminishes the season that the conference.
I agree with that. See, that I agree with. Although in perception, in national perception, it absolutely does because the only thing that people know who don't sit up late night and watch CBS Sportsnet or Fox Sports, well, how the hell do they get 4 teams and they went 0-4? That's all they know. And they know San Diego State every once in a while wins a game. That's all they know.
Right, and that does become a narrative usually around tournament time. You'll look at, well, the SEC they had 5 teams and they only have 1 in the Sweet 16, and I remember a couple of years ago there was a lot of people that were down on the Pac-12, where they didn't have anybody get through to the first
until last year when they had 3 teams in the Elite 8.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So it all goes in cycles, certainly, but I don't think it diminishes the conference. It may be, as you said, nationally, yes, the perception is there, but let's be perfectly honest, the perception of the Mountain West nationally has not been good over the years to begin with.
All right, so let's say you got 2 teams through, would it have changed? And this is how you change that narrative, Jay. And whether it's right or whether it's wrong, it's absolutely fact that if they would have had 4 teams in and still had 2 going, let's just say San Diego State and Colorado State were still going, all of a sudden that narrative changes. And while you and I agree that league made strides this year, now nationally people are going, okay, yeah, that league did get better. Look at the Mountain West; they're pretty good.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And as it is nationally, and you're a San Diego State alum, so you know this. A lot of people will look at the Mountain West and they think of it as San Diego State and a couple of teams that out west in the Mountain Time Zone. They may talk about New Mexico and their building, but the reality is it's Sandy. As far as on court stuff, it's
because that's the only team that's done anything in the last decade and a half.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, that's
in the postseason.
My deal today. But thank you guys.
No, thanks,
you
Jay.
have a great rest
Appreciate
of your day.
you. So, we all agree the Mountain West got better this year. We all agree the Mountain West was a good league, right? Don't we?
Yes, it was.
Okay, but and I agree with you 1,000%. It's about matchups, but you can't always look at all of them and say, "Wow, that's a tough match." But who do you want to play, man?
Beat someone, man.
Who do you want to play? Like Boise was an 8. Okay, would they have matched up better against which 9 would you rather have seen them play? TCU? You see what TCU did to Seton Hall and almost beat Arizona? Would you rather see them play Creighton? Would you rather see them match up against Marquette? Like at some point,
you're playing a good team in this tournament, regardless.
That's all I'm saying.
Got to beat a good team.
I don't know who you match up. San Diego State's got no excuses. San Diego State matched up well against Creighton. San Diego State had them beat for 39.5 minutes and didn't make freaking free throws. Like beat somebody. And I'm a Mountain West honk. I get it. I went to a Mountain West school. I cover a Mountain West school. I'm partners with the Mountain West. I think they had a great year. But if you're going to tell me from the national standpoint, yeah, this is it. This is how you judge conferences. This is the national tournament. Do I think there's an overemphasis on it? Yeah, probably, but that's the reality of it, don't you think? I mean, do you get tired of hearing, well, that's a tough matchup. Colorado State got a tough draw. At some point, you got to beat someone, don't you?
And I know it's one of those things. It's kind of, we just say it because we're accustomed to, and I've said it a few times this morning myself. You know, it's about the match. It's about the match. You got to go beat someone.
That's all. I think they had a great year. I think it's a good basketball league. I think it's the 8th best basketball league in America. And if you want to have a conversation about is it better than Pac-12, at the very top, it's not. If you want to ask me from after the Pac-12,
because here's the thing too. If all those were bad matchups, then a lot of the stuff people are saying
is true
about your conference. Then, like if you can't compete with a Memphis team, they got really good at the end. But so you're telling me a Memphis team that came on late in the season is better than your conference champ? Well, yeah, then it keeps pushing your league down if you can't step up in March.
All right, we're going back to the phones when we get back. 505-246-0610. If you're there, stay there, please. Dr. Stephen Coleman specializes in treating astigmatism. He's been doing that with LASIK since 1998. I had a high degree of astigmatism. That's one of the reasons I went to see Dr. Coleman and had LASIK surgery back in 2003. And it is one of the best things I've ever done. Life-changing. And I would do it again if I won't need to, because here I am all these years later, and I'm still reaping the benefits of my LASIK. The technology that Dr. Coleman uses at Coleman Vision, cutting edge. He's played a significant role in developing and testing this current technology that he uses here in New Mexico, but it's used around the world. Technology originated at Sandia Labs right here in New Mexico, and that's why for years people have been coming from all over the country to Coleman Vision to get their LASIK done. I had this surgery done, and I say surgery, I mean, it didn't feel like surgery. I went in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I had the procedure. I opened my eyes a short time later, and I'm telling you, it was instant magic. Like I opened my eyes and I could see. I anchored the news the next morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, with no lenses, and I haven't worn corrective lenses since. It's been amazing, life-changing to me. If you're thinking about LASIK, there's only one place to go, and it's Coleman Vision. Dr. Coleman is the best. The Colemans have become family to me. You go in there, and it is a comfortable, welcoming, warm atmosphere. And he'll tell you, if you're not a candidate, he's not going to do something that isn't good for you. I know people who've gone in and he said, look, there's something else you can do, but you're not a candidate for LASIK, and here's what you can do. Go hear the testimonials. Go hear stories. It's at ColemanVision.com. ColemanVision.com, or call, make an appointment, and go check them out. 505-821-8880. That's 505-821-8880. Seeing is believing, and I sure believe.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo.
On the social media, I was watching it, an Amory clip. All right, 505-246.
We're on the show tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Amory's performing at Rebel, 7:30 tomorrow. 7:30 tomorrow? What time?
It starts at 8.
All right, well, I keep saying 7:30.
Albuquerque time, let's go at 7:30.
All right, yeah, but really kind of it starts at 8. All right, 246-0610, 888-922-0610. Francisco, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. On the basketball, college basketball.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Aggies for playing hard. Rebounding, they rebounded well. They, played good defense. They hit some key shots. They didn't make it to the Sweet 16, but they were close, man. And I knew once they won that first game, Jans was gone. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean,
that's right.
It is what it is. He's probably going to make probably 4 times the amount of money, maybe 5.
So Ben Howland, what did I see? JJ, the coach that just got fired was making $2.8 million a year. So I mean, if he's making, look, I don't know, 1.8.
He's going to make 1.2.
Let's say he makes 1.8, right? I mean, look, man, he was making I think 650-ish at New Mexico State. He's going to
deserve that and more.
Well, and he's going to have access to be an at-large one day to the tournament as opposed to having to win 3 days in Vegas. He's going to compete at the highest level. We all want to push ourselves. And his money, look, he's not going to sit here and tell you it's about the money. But if someone offered you a job that paid you, I don't know, let's just say $2 million, JJ, is that 3.5 times more than what you're making now, with an opportunity to go, do your job at the highest level? Are you taking it? Oh, and by the way, you're going to secure your family for the rest of their lives.
And St. Peter's coach is gone. We know that.
He might be. Maybe.
He's a great coach.
He seems like it. Yeah.
And then the Lobos, if we can keep these 2 guards until they're seniors, we will be in the Sweet 16. Because if you see St. Peter's, their guard play is amazing.
Yeah, it's very
and
similar.
These 2 kids that we have here, they're great. And I hope every player stays and they could build off that, and coach can build off that, and
that's good.
Because with a guard play like that, you can go a long way, man. And coach pushes defense. They might not be the greatest defensive team, but they put the effort in. So
Right.
And with just 1 year under his belt, I feel good about the Lobos. It's just that transfer portal, man. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Well, think about it this way. You get one free transfer, right? And your guards that you talked about have already used their one free transfer until they graduate. So,
good.
So think of it that way. All right, man. Be well.
All right.
See you.
Take care.
I will tell you this, and I've mentioned this a number of times. The difference between your guards at New Mexico and a lot of the guards that we're seeing in the NCAA tournament that we saw at the Mountain West tournament, it's just thickness. It's they need to hit the weight room, and that was one of the things that was said at the podium when the Lobos lost to Nevada in the Mountain West tournament. Was hit the weight room, and Jalen House and Jamal kind of laughed about it because I know they've heard it before, but they have to get.
But it's
just
also
thicker.
But there's a give and take. Like, those guys are small dudes.
Yeah.
They're not getting bigger.
They're not getting taller.
Yeah, they're not getting taller.
Yeah,
you can get stronger.
That's my point.
But especially if you're Jalen House, dude, he's been in college 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, he's not getting a lot stronger. And you don't want those dudes to just hit there and hit the weight room, because what makes them special?
Their quickness.
Their quickness.
Yep.
I agree with that. It's more about what's around them as opposed to those guys having to be the strongest players.
All right, but when you looked at what's around them, the makeup of the bodies of most of the teams that advanced were different than New Mexico.
And they're not getting there.
Yeah.
The House and Mashburn are not getting. Mashburn's in really good shape.
Mashburn's in great shape. Like, I think Mashburn, they could both put on a little extra, more upper weight strength.
You can get
upper
stronger.
Yeah, that's my point. Yes.
And they held up pretty well this season.
I thought they both held up really well. Look, the minutes that they played. Now, you had some lower leg injuries. Jalen hurt his ankle in the Montana State game, if I recall. You had some lower leg injuries, but yeah, I think they both, for the minutes they played, both held up really, really well. Yeah, I agree.
And so that's the tough thing. Everyone says, "Oh, the weight room, get stronger, get stronger." Like, they're not getting to the size of those Nevada guards. Because those guards grew to 6'6". Those guys didn't.
We're 6'4" and just 220. Yeah. Terry, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, JJ. Good morning, A. Marie. Hope you all are doing well. Real quick, I think Trevor Bauer and Phil Mickelson they could be NFL QBs. That way, you can do whatever you want and no feedback that way. On a side note, maybe for the summer, the passing of John Clayton. Maybe go over the old ESPN commercials. I really enjoyed it, and I always liked when they finally let him know that he had a ponytail he would tuck down the back of his suit, and he finally did his commercial with his hair going wild. But I'll miss him. He's been away from the big time for a while, but he was always special. For the Mountain West, I more like use the term disappointing instead of embarrassing. But sooner or later, you have to step up. And I go back to 2 years ago. Yes, KU would have been the number one overall seed, but I think the Mountain West could have been hurt the most because San Diego was either going to be the last number one or the first number two, and the potential for them to make a major run 2 years ago was there, and that definitely would have helped the conference because one bad year, okay, but sooner or later somebody has to step up. And this year it was set there. The matchups you had 8-9s. You weren't going 12-5. State took it up and took down to 5. But it was like, yes, okay, now's the time to do something. And like I said, 2 years ago, I was thinking San Diego State was going to make a major run. But from that standpoint, we move on. And so now you have some high seeds. You have Iowa State win 2 games last year, and now it's in the Sweet 16. So with transfer portals, anybody can move up, and big changes can happen quickly on that. So from that standpoint there, we move on. And I know I was telling A-Marie, Kyle's very happy. They now have a quarterback. I don't know. Your Rams are looking good just by sitting there because everybody's leaving the NFC. So I think you guys could repeat, but we'll see what happens that way. But you guys have a great day as always. Appreciate the show. Be safe.
The John Clayton thing was when I saw him pass away. He was a great reporter. This is interesting. Dennis just sent me RPI. So what do you make of RPI? Is that something that still does anything for you?
Throw it in the mixer with everything else they put on there.
All right, Dennis sent me the conference ranking. It's got Mountain West 6th, West Coast Conference 9th, But then he sent me another one that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, Mountain West 8th, West Coast Conference 9th. So it's got the Mountain West rated higher than the West Coast Conference by percentage points. Okay. I'll tell you, the eye test tells me that you give me the top 3 in their conference and the top 3 in this conference, and I mean, who's the best? You would play Boise State against Gonzaga, right? That's fairly easy. You would play San Diego State against St. Mary's?
It was there in the second round.
Yeah.
Beat Memphis.
Yeah, well, you would have, right, and you couldn't get there. You would have played San Diego State against St. Mary's. Well, there's an argument. San Diego State, St. Mary's is a hell of a game I'd like to watch. Colorado State, San Francisco. It's another really good game I'd like to watch. BYU, Wyoming. Santa Clara, who's next? UNLV?
And it's Mountain West Coast Conference.
That's
games like that's of these challenges.
I was just going to say that.
All
that's
day, every
the challenge I want to see. You know, you have SEC Big 12 challenges.
Travel's not crazy.
Let's play a Mountain West Coast Conference challenge. I would love to watch that. And play me. Let me see Boise State, Gonzaga. Let me see San Diego State, St. Mary's. Let me see Colorado State, San Francisco. Let me see Wyoming, BYU. Let me see Santa Clara, UNLV. Yeah, and then New Mexico would get a Pepperdine or a Loyola, which are good teams. Aggies went and played Loyola on the road. Loyola Marymount beat them. Yeah, 100% would love to watch a West Coast Conference Mountain West Challenge. I would watch that all week. 505-246-0610. We'll wrap it up. Still have time for you. I'll get you as many emails as I can as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J. Buck, A. Marie, and Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico
Aggies is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
From your buddy Jason. Jans is the man on the move, it says. Good morning, OD. Well, now that the Aggie season is over and Coach Jans is now at Mississippi State, the search for the next coach to captain the good ship Crimson begins. First, let me say to Coach Jans, thank you for being a great steward of Aggie basketball legacy. 23 NCAA appearances, 10 coming in this century, 4 under your watch. It doesn't get much better than that. While some programs in multi-bid leagues think a history of 15 appearances in their entire over 100 years of basketball history makes them special, Aggie Hoops has 10 appearances in 23 years. That's outstanding work. Once an Aggie, always an Aggie, so until we meet again. So for those who think Jans will not be successful in the SEC, who knows? You might be right. There are a ton of factors that go into coaches being successful, but I guarantee it won't be because he came from the WAC. Mark Pope came from Utah Valley and has been successful at BYU with NCAA appearances and an NIT, a result Lobo fan would kill for, by the way. Leon Rice, a former WAC coach, how's he doing? I think he won your conference. For the record, the Mountain West Conference has had coaches leave and been less than successful or even fired from their job. How did Tim Miles do it in Nebraska? Steve Alford was fired at UCLA. Are those as much a referendum on the quality of play in the Mountain West Conference? Just a question. Remember, mid-major coaches usually are hired to a job that a previous coach was underperforming. Lobo fan was convinced Richie McKay couldn't coach, and he'd had 2 NCAA appearances in 4 years at Liberty, including a first-round win. So Lobo fans' assessment of coaches in conferences is the last opinion anyone wants to hear. Didn't Joe Golding, UTEP's new coach, come from the Southland, which Lobo fan would call a cupcake league? How'd UTEP do against the Lobos and their former Power 6 coach? The WAC is lazy. Come stronger with something other than cupcake. Chris Beard and Ed Cooley were in cupcake leagues prior to their stops at Texas and Providence, for instance. Crimsonally, Jason. P.S. Response to Mike, did the Aggies get $61 million to upgrade their building? The Aggies got $3 million for the Pan Am from a private donor. The New Mexico legislature funded about $4.53 million worth of capital outlay projects for UNM's athletic department. By contrast, lawmakers funded about $2.4 million worth for New Mexico State. $4.53 million to $2.4. The reference is Katie Bierry's March 4th story in KVIA. Thank you. Jason did some work. A couple of things there. He's not wrong on all those coaches. Look, it's a crapshoot. There's no guarantee. One thing that I have found consistent, and I'm proud of Aggie fan for this, JJ, I think 99% of Aggie fan has taken the approach of thank you, Coach Jans, for making us better. Good luck to you. Best to you. Understand the opportunity. I was listening to Two Men On yesterday, and they were like, "Oh, we're pissed," and they had Adam Young on trying to get him to say he's upset, and I know Adam. Adam was happy for Chris, and I think that's where most Aggie fan is. They get it. They understand the business. They understand the reality. And Chris is going to make a lot of money, have a great opportunity, and he made them better than they were, and you had a great 5-year run. And I'm proud of Aggie fan for that, for the most part, for understanding that.
Yeah, there's no bitterness. Everyone gets it at this point in time where you're like, oh, dang it, wish we could have kept him. It's business. And whether you're a Mountain West school, you're New Mexico State, you have some success, you know that there's always going to be a bigger opportunity. And also, like, what's failure? Like, when you go to a program like UCLA, it's national championship expectations. I don't think Steve Alford was a disaster.
Oh, I mean, how many Sweet 16s did he go to? 2 or 3?
But they're like, we should be winning national titles. And so he gets axed, and you move on.
Was Ben Howland a failure there, too?
Yeah.
I mean, he went to, 2 Final Fours?
Yeah.
Failure. Hello, Howard.
You can compare all day long. It's just really difficult. I'm really super happy for Chris Jans, being able to move on up. And I was happy for Steve Alford, and you had a faction of people here locally that were mad at him, and why? Because he's bettering his career and, providing a better life for his family. It just doesn't make sense. Saturday night we were over at the lodge. It was kind of a quiet night over there, but you saw about 25 to 30 people glued to the television and screaming and yelling for the New Mexico State Aggies. They were all avid Lobo fans, and we were just rooting for the Aggies so hard. What they did this year was pretty incredible, and, I'm a Lobo fan, but I'm still pretty doggone proud of them.
I think a lot of people feel that way, and maybe even, slightly more the majority. There's some who just hate it, and I get it, man. Especially, and this is Aggies fans' time to gloat. And is it being directed at Lobo fan? Some of it is because some Lobo fans coming out and trying to pee on their fire, really. I mean, honestly, trying to, belittle
they're not
their
little brother anymore. They're actually, we may be becoming little brother if we don't get it together. It's a reality. I mean, and, JJ, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We're not going to muscle up Mashburn and House. Maybe we can make them a little bit stronger, but they are who they are. And it definitely, what we need is inside help. It's glaringly obvious. Everybody knows it. We need some inside help. And I did not know that about the transfer portal, that you had one transfer and that's it.
Well, you get the one free transfer. You get the one without having to sit out a year. Now, you can go again, but you would have to sit out a redshirt year. Or if you are academically graduated, then you can become a graduate transfer and go again without missing a year. But you get the one free, I call it a free transfer without having to sit out a year. Now they can transfer again, but they'd have to sit out a year.
Yeah, and that year of eligibility is pretty precious.
Well, it'd be a red shirt. It'd be a red shirt year. It'd be their red shirt.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So anyhow, I'm glad to hear the three of you back together. Glad to hear A. Marie back. You guys have tremendous chemistry on this morning's show, and second to none. And I really enjoyed this show every morning. I don't get to call as much as I used to, but believe me, I'm listening, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Howie. Appreciate you. I think so, too, by the way.
Me too.
How many times I had to hit that button? There we go. That's enough. Lobo Hobo says, replying to JT, the most disappointing loss was the Aztecs. Jeff, when the other guy's point guard's on the bench in a cast and their center limps off the field with a ligament damage, you need to pull the game out. Yeah, 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You had to win that game. Yes. James is in on Reggie Theus. He got a raw deal in Sacramento, it says. He had an overrated, overpaid Kenny Thomas, who ended up benching. And not much else to work with. He was trying to win with Ron Artest and Sharif Abdur-Rahim. He didn't have a good team.
No.
I mean, who's going to win with that? Now, was Reggie a good coach? I don't know. But who's going to win with that team? Exactly. Carl wants a little football update. We probably need one. He says, Jeff, hadn't heard any reports on last week's Breeze. It was just totally buried being the same day, the spring game. as the finals of the state tournament, the Mountain West tournament, the WAC tournament. Apparently, the marketing department took that day off, too. I think they were busy with the other stuff. Bourne says, we've never seen Johnny McCants play like that. Why does he call him Keith McCants? Who the hell is Keith McCants? Never seen McCants play like that. I didn't know he could look that good. On the other hand, what happened to Jabari Rice? He took a step backwards this season. I mean, he took a step back to Teddy Buckets this year. All right, good stuff today. Hey, Marie, welcome back. I'm just saying.
I know. Sorry. Good,
It's
good
gonna
to be back.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing for a while. It's kind of like JJ has got a big day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
Huge day.
You got a big day today, by the way?
We'll find out.
I see you will. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4. And then, I don't know, you guys want to reassemble and do more award-winning radio tomorrow, 7 a.m.?
Yes. Woo.
All right, I'll be here about, 6:56, if that works for you. Maybe 6:52. All right. Enjoy today. Be good to each other. Adrian, great work. Thanks for putting us on the TV side. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will see you tomorrow.
Kylie Ottman bodies that ball. Ava Love, wide open bucket. She drifts through the air and knocks it home. So
out of the corner, no. Nora with the rebound, quickly gets it ahead to Louise. In transition, the left-hand layup is good for Luciano Webster.
oh, Lyra Corona, she has a chance to change that story. She does.
Diaz now with the ball. It's a 3-point lead. Montoya, she tries to equalize. Boom! Olivia Montoya with her second 3-ball of the second half.
There's an assist from half court on the inbounds pass.
That's a long shot. The laser shot. Holy cow. Defense closes down quickly. Garcia Romero for 2.
With the rebound here, Benjamin. Throw it up. He's going to throw it up to his big fella, and his third dunk of the night. Hey, remember, Greg Brown doesn't have any timeouts. They get it into Hill. Hill's going to have a chance to win it at the hole. Yeah! He does it! Hill bangs in the 3!